All right, welcome back to the channel. In our continuing, for lack of a better word, series on gear, we're making the assumption we've got our medical squared away. We've got our handgun, spare mag, good holster. We're training with you. Our third thing that I would seriously consider is something along this line. This is my personal AR. I'll be perfectly honest, I rotate between an AR and an AK. I tend to run both of them just for the simple fact I want to be proficient with both of them in case I'm picking something up that may not be mine, quote unquote battlefield pickup. So what do I look for? I want something that is 100% reliable, just like our handgun. If I'm getting this thing out, it's already a bad day. And if it takes a dump on me, it just got worse. So what do I look for? Again, I don't really want to spend a lot of time on brands. This is a Colt. It's, I'll be honest, I forgot what model it was. It's not a 6920, but it's basically a 6920. This is the M forgery. It's got the M4 style barrel with the cut for the M203 grenade launcher that, what am I going to do with the M2? I'd like to have one to play with, but, but what do I look for in a rifle, and do I do any modifications? Okay. First thing I look for is typically I want mil spec. That does not mean it has to be a Colt. There's several good manufacturers, but when I say mil spec, I want 100% interchangeability with any other AR. Again, I don't want Gucci parts. I don't want a specific part that if it breaks, I have to go to that manufacturer to get that part. I want to be able to get it from anybody if push comes to shove. So whether it's a charging handle, bolt, firing pin, springs, you name it, I can get what I need. So I want mil spec. Right now, on the AK side, and I didn't bring it up because it's set up as my go rifle right now, I would lean heavily toward Comblock. I've got a Romanian Wasser 1063. People crap on them, but they're excellent. They're excellent carbines. Arsenal makes an excellent carbine. Palmetto State Armory are making US AKs. They're interchangeable with AKs. They seem to be good. I personally would want probably to wait a little longer to get people have more rounds through them to make sure everything is set up, properly. But they look very promising. And Palmetto State Armory is a good company. I've dealt with them. I really like them. I like their AR stuff. They're reasonably priced. They're strong Second Amendment supporters. They're making their own ammunition now. If I had to choose between, if I could only have one, honestly, it would be an AR. Not for the reason I like the AR over the AK. Actually, I like the AK better, especially in 7.62 by 39. I think it's a much more effective cartridge, especially for around here where you're looking at shots 300 meters and in. However, right now, it's logistics. Is ammunition going to be a problem to get? Is getting the firearm itself going to be a problem because of what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, that sort of thing. Plus, if we have supply chain issues, ARs are like Glocks. Stuff is everywhere. 5.56 is commonplace. Magpul mags, which are the only mags I would run, commonplace. If I need parts, I can get parts. If it's a quote unquote, again, a battlefield pickup, chances are I'm going to be picking stuff up that's AR related, not AK related. So if I could only have one, I would have an AR. Now myself personally, I like guns, so I got the best of both worlds. I got both of them. Those are the only two that I would really honestly consider. Not to say that others aren't good weapons. Some of them are actually superior, But again, logistically, can I get mags? Can I get parts? Can I get ammunition? Now what do I do to my carbine? First thing I do, tourniquets. I've got this rubber band on this buttstock, and I have got a one on my AK, but it's rubber banded to my sling. So if I pick this up, I've got my tourniquet with me. I've also got one in my pocket. We're not shooting on a one-way range. Rounds are going both directions. And hopefully he doesn't know how to run his gun, but I can't make that assumption. I have to make the assumption that I may get hit. I have to fight through it, and then I have to treat myself after I do that. So first thing I get, I got a tourniquet. Second thing, I want iron sights. Now these are backup. Now this is the A2 front sight post. Of course, your gas block is built in. I got dust on this thing. Some people, their ARs, they have what's called a low profile gas block, so they don't have a front sight here, and that lets them run longer handguards. If that's the case, hey, I'm good with that, but I still want a metal front sight, and I want a metal rear sight. I'll be honest, I don't remember who manufactures this. It will flip down out of the way. I run it up because I'm running a red dot, and I've co-witnessed. So if my red dot goes down, which I do highly recommend a good red dot. This is a Holosun. They're made in China. The battery life is incredible, and people are beating the snot out of them, and they're still running, and they're reasonably priced. So if your red dot goes down, either the battery's dead, which this thing's got like a 5-year battery life. I changed the battery out on New Year's, and it's got what's called shake awake, which kind of scared me to start with, but so far I've not had any issues. If this weapon stays still for like 10 minutes, don't quote me on that, but I think it's 10 minutes, the red dot shuts off. But any motion, like riding in the trunk of your car, or if you pick it up, when you pick it up, the red dot comes on. And so when you come up, your red dot's on, you're ready to go. But let's say the red dot goes down. I've still got my irons. I can shoot through my I can sight. I hope I don't shoot through my red dot, but I can sight through my red dot. So I want backup irons, an optic, if I can, especially as I age, a tourniquet. I want a sling. The sling on a carbine is like the holster on your pistol. If it goes down or you need to use hands for something, it's still on your body, but your hand's free. And then you can do anything from a GI sling, paracord. I think this is a Blue Force gear from Viking Tactics. And then I wrap it around my buttstock into my pistol grip. And that way it stores out of the way and it doesn't catch on stuff when I don't carry it in a gun case. This, my AK both, it's laying in the trunk or it's beside the bed or it's on me. And it's not in a gun case, but if it's coming out of the trunk, then this doesn't hang on something, is I'm getting it to use it. Next thing is a weapons light. Now, the reason I have a weapons light on this and not on my pistol, there's a way, and we'll discuss this later, there's a way to use your weapons light where you're not covering somebody with your muzzle, okay? What you can do is either be at a high ready, hit the weapons light and bounce the light off the ceiling, or if you're to low ready, do the same thing but bounce it off the floor. And the backsplash of the light will light up what you need to see. But the main reason I do it this way is both hands are running the gun. Now with a handgun, I can run my weapons light here and shoot one-handed. It's not ideal, but I can make it work. With this, it's hard for me to run. I can shoot this one-handed, but it's hard for me to run a weapons light and shoot it one-handed. Let's see. Oh, cleaning rod. They call them Ranger bands. Get you a bicycle inner tube, just cut it up, make big thick rubber bands. And then I've got a cleaning rod broken down on my weapon. The AR has a non-reciprocating charging handle. In other words, the charging handle doesn't go back and forth as the weapon fires like on an AK. The charging handle on an AK is up here, and every time it cycles, the charging handle goes to the rear. So if I've got a stuck case, I could put the buttstock on the AK on the ground and kick like you kickstarting a motorcycle with your boot and kick it round out. I can't do that as easily with this. So if I've plugged my bore or I've got a stuck case, I've got my cleaning rod all ready to come out and knock it down, and I can knock a stuck case out. With the M4 collapsible buttstocks, you don't have a place to put a cleaning kit for your cleaning rod, plus you'd have to assemble it. And this way it's with the weapon and it's ready to go. Now, other thing is, I've just got a standard A2 birdcage flash suppressor. I don't run compensators. Compensators are obnoxious. They help with recoil where you can shoot faster. A good stance with the AR, it's a 5.56. It doesn't have a lot of recoil to start with, you know. And the compensator, what it does is the energy goes out on both sides, and your battle buddy is going to dislike you when you touch it off beside him and you're giving him a concussion, you know. Other thing is, it tends to put out a big old fireball, and that tends to draw fire, and that also makes your battle buddy mad when he's too close to you and you put out looks like a flamethrower went off, and now you're attracting every round within 500 meters. So I just run a straight A2 flash suppressor. Doesn't help with recoil. It's closed on the bottom, so if you're firing prone, it's not kicking up a lot of dust that will also give your position away. It does a real good job of flash suppression, and it works. And plus, it's cheap. And most of the time, the weapon comes with it anyway. Now, there are some states. I went to a training class one time, and the guy I was with was from Connecticut. He couldn't have a flash suppressor. He had to run a comp. And I hated shooting next to him. He's a good guy, but that 5.56 was rattling my head on the line because of and it wasn't his fault, you know, and it wasn't the 5.56, it was just the compensator. Now, is there anything else could go on this thing? Absolutely. I always say that the AR is like Legos for adults. You can get all kinds of crap. Now, the one thing I want you to be able to remember, that adds weight. So, like we talked about before with the handgun, are you fixing a problem? Is what you're doing fixing a problem, or is it look cool and all the cool kids have got it? You know, if you're not fixing a problem with it, you know, why do you want to spend the money? Spend the money on ammunition and training, you know, or take your wife out for a nice quiet dinner without the kids, you know. And I'm a fine one to talk. I don't do that either like I ought to. But keep your weight down. A good rule of thumb, is you should be able to, if I can do this where you can see, hold it at arm's length, one-handed. If you can't do this, you got to do two things, preferably both. Find something to come off this rascal because you got it too heavy. 2, PT, push-ups, burpees, pull-ups. That's the other thing I'm working on. I'm embarrassed to say, after surgery and 2 rounds of chemo and radiation, I'm still doing push-ups on my knees. But I am doing push-ups. And I'm doing burpees. Now, they're sissy burpees, but they're burpees nonetheless. And I'm trying to get better. The other thing is, when it's at the bedside or in the car, I run 2 mags coupled together. Remember when we talked about malfunctions? The acronym was MEAL. Magazine, extractor, ammunition, lubrication. If anything's going to take a dump, chances are it's this. This gives me a spare mag on board that if my first mag goes down, or heaven forbid, now I download them. I downloaded 28 rounds because it's easier to load it on the closed bolt if you're doing a tactical reload. But if I went through 28 rounds and I'm on my second mag, it's a bad day. But I got it with me. So I run 2 mags. I hope I remembered everything. I probably didn't. But as we go and we do the class, and and I'm going to do a video today about the firing positions with the carbine. And if I forget something, hopefully I'll remember it in that, and we'll go over it then. But you know what I'm fixing to say. Comments, questions, criticisms, witticisms, put them in the comment box. As always, I remain your humble and obedient servant, John Osbrook.